Good morning, guys. Able to hear me? Okay, yes. Tirumura is a book. Tirumura is a book. It's a book. It's a book. Okay, just one second. So let us continue the discussion for today, guys, and we're going to see the remaining questions that we have. But before that, the current affairs of the day. A couple of quick current affairs. Now, see, there is actually an organization called UNOOSA. This is basically an organization which is um, takes care of outer space affairs. I mean, a United Nations institution for outer space affairs and outer space details, the terms and conditions of the outer space, etc. It's a deal करने के लिए. This is an institution, UNOSA. Aarti Holla Maini, the has been recently appointed. She's actually Indian origin, British satellite industry expert. So she's spent about 18 years as the Secretary General of the Global Satellite Operators Association. Now she's recently been appointed as the director of UNOSA. She got appointed now. UNOSA was actually originally established in 1958. Its headquarters is in Vienna, Austria. The primary objective of UNOSA is to help all countries, especially developing countries, to access and leverage the benefits of space to accelerate sustainable development. Sustainable development में स्पेस का इस्तेमाल कैसे किया जाए इसकी इसमें मदद करता लोगों की. UNOS. No. It generally has an office of director, of which Malini has recently been appointed. Now the office of director generally oversees the coordinations and strategic directions and operational priorities. Then there's also a committee of policy and legal affairs, which provides substantial secretarial organizational administrative support and space applications section as well, which plans the UN program. Just give me 1 second, guys. There's some problem. 1 second. Sorry, some emergency vehicle was disturbing. So space application section was also there, and this is the unit of UNOSA which actually plans the UN program on space applications. Also, there's another institution called UN Spider, Space-Based Information for Disaster Management and Emergency Response. That's another important institution. UN Spider is a program of UNOSA basically to leverage space data and applications for disaster risk reduction. See, generally, you can understand it this way. America has NASA, India has ISRO, Japan has Japanese Space Agency. For us, for United Nations of the world, there is UNOSA. Put it that way. Okay. Now, UNOSA helps to build capacity, basically focus on capacity building for the outer space, understand the fundamentals of international space law, and increase the capacity for transparency in space activities. I mean, the intention is to increase space capacity and transparency. Now, yesterday we've seen India-US relations. After US, Narendra Modi eventually went to Egypt and had very good relations with Egypt, very good discussions with the Egyptian government. Egypt is very important. I mean, look, the actual direct linkage of India and Egypt is coming all the way from Ashoka's period. We had very close relations with the Egyptian king, the king of Egypt, Ptolemy II, Ptolemy of Alexandria. In 2050 BC, Pharaoh Sahur sent ships to peninsular India. And Mahatma Gandhi, Egyptian revolutionary leader, Saad Zaghlol, had a very common goal of actually getting independence from the British. Now, both India and Egypt have been British colonies, and we both worked relentlessly to free ourselves from the British domination and for the sake of so freedom. We've done this on a regular basis. As of 1947, diplomatic relations between India and Egypt were established, and in fact, in the 1956 Suez Canal crisis period, India vehemently and strongly remained a supporter of Egypt. We remained very strong supporter of Egypt. We were adamant that Egypt Suez Canal belongs to Egypt and Egypt must get it. Good morning, Varsha. Both countries, India and Egypt, were founding members of NAM. In fact, if you know, one of our very close friends of Jawaharlal Nehru was Abdullah Gamal Nasser. See, Nasser. Nasser was a very close friend of Jawaharlal Nehru and one of the founding members of NAM or NAM ideology, to be honest. Economically, bilaterally, if you observe, we both countries have over $7 billion in trade. Nearly one third of it is completely in petroleum related. And Egypt controls Suez Canal. So naturally plays a very important role for India because all the shipments from Europe and America has to come through the Suez Canal. And Egypt is actually seeking Indian investments in infrastructure projects, and over 50 Indian companies have already invested in Egypt. So Egypt is quite interested in India actually investing in Egypt and developing infrastructure, etc., on the lines of how we did with Afghanistan. Obviously, China is a bigger challenger or bigger competitor for India in Egypt. Both India and Egypt are also victims of terrorism and extremism. And both India and Egypt are very closely concerned or worried about stability in Middle East and North Africa because we believe that a stable Africa and stable Middle East is actually what is needed for the development of the Southern Hemisphere. In fact, India, Egypt are two important leaders of the global South, the global leadership of the South. India and Egypt are very close leaders of this global South. And Maulana Azad Center for Indian Culture was established in Cairo in 1992, mainly to promote cultural cooperation between India and Egypt. And recently, a memorandum of understanding was also signed to facilitate content exchange and co-productions between Prasar Bharati, the India's national media outlet, and then the National Media Authority of Egypt, NMA. We worked on that part. Okay. So India, Egypt important, and UNOOSA is also very important for you in your current affairs. Let us see the first question for the day. Consider the following events: First Anglo-Mysore War, First Anglo-Burmese War, First Anglo-Sikh War, First Anglo-Maratha War. Arrange the above events on the basis of chronology. Give the chronology. Answer. Answer is B. First Anglo-Mysore War 1766-69. First Anglo-Maratha War 1775-72. First Anglo-Burmese War 1824-26. First Anglo-Sikh War 1845-46. Mysore first. Mysore War only started first. Consider the following statement. Permanent settlement system was introduced by the British to encourage investments in agriculture. British expected the permanent settlement would help the emergence of class of yeoman farmers who would be loyal to the company. You only tell. Yeoman farmers. Answer is D. D. Yes. Shravan. You're right. Varsha, right. Permanent settlement, British hoped to resolve the problems they had been facing in the conquest of Bengal. The entire intention of the permanent settlement was mainly to simplify the methods and the procedures of tax collection. By 1770s, rural economy in Bengal was in crisis with recurrent famines and declining agricultural output. And officials felt that agriculture, trade, and revenue resources of the state could all be developed by encouraging investments in agriculture. This could be done by securing rights of property and permanently fixing the rates of revenue demand. I mean, that was the intention. See, permanent settlement was always incorrect. Both are incorrect now. Even many times I've told you, in the class itself, I've told you, the intention of permanent settlement was always genuine. The intention was to improve agriculture through investments and growth and modernization and all of that. The entire problem of permanent settlement was its implementation failed. It was not the intention, it's the implementation which failed. No problem. You joined. That's a big thing. Next question. Which of the following is not correctly paired? Alfonso Alba PYQ, second governor, Nino Docuna transferred headquarters from Cochin to Goa. Martin Alfonso, accompanied by Jesuit priest Francis Xavier to India, and Francisco de Almeida lost or moved to the British. Ramya, that's because I think you're you just in the on your YouTube right hand corner there will be a settings symbol. Click on that and increase the video size to 360p. You must have been 144p. Answer is D. Not correctly paired. Francisco de Almeida नहीं था. Okay, no. पिछले question में what was the confusion? Okay. Consider the following statements. Permanent settlement was introduced by the British to encourage investment in agriculture. It was incorrect. I mean, it is correct. The British expected permanent settlement would help emergence of class was young men farmers who would be loyal to the company. It is correct. So, since the question is asking which of the following are incorrect, both the statements are Actually, correct. No, that's why neither one nor two is incorrect. I mean, no. It's not a repeat. I'm just rechecking the question. I mean, many students had confusion of what. So I still didn't let the confusion. क्या है? Got it. Ah. Which place was replaced by Bombay in 1689 as the headquarters of the East India Company on the west coast of India? Headquarters of East India Company in west coast. Wasn't it Surat? Yes. Unanimous. Unanimous answer, Surat. Yes. You're right. Who created the Madras presidency as it existed till Indian independence? Thomas Munro, Cornwallis, Lord Hastings, Lord Wellesley. Who created Madras presidency? Sir Thomas Munro, yes. Cornwallis, Hastings, and Wellesley were from the Bengal East India Company, not the Madras East India Company. Right? Which one of the following villages was not purchased by the English from the Mughal Emperor of Bengal in 1698? Kalikata, Hariharpur, Sultanati, Govindpur. Hariharpur. Kalikata, Sultanati, Govindpur was purchased, not Hariharpur. What is the chronological order of the following events? Jahangir's Farman permitting English to set up factory at Surat. Establishment of the English factory at Machilipatnam. Establishment of English factory at Armagaon near Pulicat. Departure of Sir Thomas Roe for England. Select the correct answers from the codes given below. Answer D. D. Yes. Rahul Reddy, Pooja Jain. You're all right. Yes. D. 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 Establishment of the English factory at Masaripatnam 1611 is the first act. If you guys remember, it was, of course, the first act. Next question. Which one of the following was not a French settlement? Yanam, Chandanagore, Karaikal, Balasore. Balasore was never a French settlement. Yes. Balasore was never a French settlement. Which one of the following was not imported by Europeans from India? Perfume. Perfumes were Persian. I think it got repeated, no? Portuguese built their first fort on Indian soil on the territory of Raja of Calicut, Cochin, Daman, Bijapur. Raja of Portuguese, Cochin. Remember the second trip which Vasco da Gama did. Francisco Almeida came later. The resistance from Arab traders was completely crushed by Portuguese under Albuquerque, Almeida, General Prestado, Nino de Cunha. Answer yes, Albuquerque. It was under Albuquerque. They actually, the Portuguese were able to completely crush Arab resistance. Which crop was introduced in India by the Portuguese? Coffee, chili, tobacco, groundnuts. Answer is C. Tobacco. Portuguese gave us tobacco. Dutch established themselves at Machilipatnam after obtaining a firman from the ruler of Bijapur in 1601, Travancore in 1606, Arcot in 1606, Golconda in 1606. Golconda 1606. Answer is Golconda. Dutch established themselves at Machilipatnam after obtaining a firman from the ruler of Golconda. Machilipatnam came under Golconda's control. Easy to guess, right? Very, very easy to guess. Next. Which was the main center of Dutch trade in the Coromandel until the headquarters was shifted to Nagapatnam in 1690? Jinji, Machilipatnam, Pulicat, Balasore. Answer is C. Pulicat. Pulicat. Yeah, most of you do have an idea of what's happening. Yes. Who conquered Ceylon from the Portuguese in 1658? Who conquered Ceylon from the Portuguese in 1658? Answer is Dutch. Dutch. Ceylon, Sri Lanka was actually a Dutch colony later. Who gave Bombay to Charles II of England as dowry gift for his marriage with Catherine of Braganza? Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, and Danes. Portuguese, Catherine Braganza. Portuguese एंड ऊपर से 11 रुपए का ये सालाना खर्चा 11 रुपए था. I mean 11 rupees lease, right? Or 11 pounds yearly lease. East India Company was given it. Which Englishman remarked, I know these people are best treated with a sword in one hand and crucian, a rod carried by messenger on the other. William Hawkins, Joshua Child, Thomas Rowe, Gerald Ognia. This is actually a previous year question. The answer is C. Thomas Rowe. An item was developed by the European powers which supplemented the European sources for gunpowder, which was also used as a ballast for ships going to Europe. What was it? Cadmium, saltpeter, charcoal, steam power. Saltpeter, gunpowder, base material for gunpowder, saltpeter. In 1632, English obtained a long awaited permission of the Golden Farman for erecting a fortified factory at Coromandel Coast from Sultan of Golconda, Sultan of Bijapur, Raja of Chandragiri, Mughal Emperor. The answer is A. Golconda, without fail, without doubt. The English East India Company's servants were divided into three ranks. What are they? Writers, councillors, merchants, writer factor merchants, janitor factors, traders, merchants, clerks, and soldiers. Three categories. Writers, factors, and merchants. Always remember this. Company never really had soldiers. Company never really had a specific category called clerks. It was always the writers, factors, and merchants. Writers were the ones who were known as clerks. Which one of the following factories of English was the first one to be fortified? Bombay, Surat, Madras, Machilipatnam. First factory to be fortified is always Madras. Fort Williams. Oh, sorry, Fort St. George. First factory to be fortified, Fort St. George. Fort St. George. Who was the governor of Madras, whose term of office is regarded as the golden age of Madras in respect to development of trade and increase in wealth? Job Charnock, Thomas Pitt, William Langhorne, Thomas Monroe. This period is generally known as the Golden Era. It is actually Thomas Pitt. Thomas Pitt. Thomas Pitt. Always remember this, guys. Yeah, this was a previous year question which was asked in prelims. Thomas Pitt was the governor of Madras, whose governorship was generally known as the Golden Age. Similarly, was governorship of Elphinstone. Elphinstone of Bombay, whose general rule is considered one of the greatest terms or greatest periods in history of Bombay. Who evolved the strategy of intervening in mutual quarrels of Indian princes and by supporting one against the other and securing monetary, commercial, or territorial favors from the victors. Duplay, Francois Duplay. He was the guy who began this process of intervening, no? Who granted the French the area of Andhra, known as Northern Sarkars, Eluru, Mustafanagar, Rajahmundry, and Chikakol, to the British. फ्रेंच को ये सब देने वाले कौन थे? Muzaffar Jung. In fact, in the class, we actually see this in a slide. I show you the image of Muzaffar Jung and the areas which he gave to Duplay. We actually talk about this. Muzaffar Jung. Duplay's major opponent on the English side who outwitted him was Clive, Robert Clive. In 1740, Clive and approximately 1740, Robert Clive and Duplay were both contemporaries around that time. Next question. Arrange the following settlements of the French in the correct chronology. Yanam, Chandanagar, Karaikal, Santhom. Chronology of the French. Chronology becomes important. Answer is B. Santam, Yanam, Chandanagar before that. Karaikal was the last. Karaikal was the last. Right. Next. Which of the following statements about the French East India Company are true? It was formed in 1600 by a group of French merchants. The man behind its formation was Colbert. It was owned and managed by the French government. It was abolished in 1725. French East India Company. Details. Answer B. B, B, B. Answer is B. Consider the following statements about Maharshi Badran Vyas Saman. Maharshi Badran Vyas Saman is conferred to persons in recognition to the substantial contribution to the field of Sanskrit only. And the award is given to selected young scholars in the age of 30 to 45. Which of the above statements these are correct? I'm pretty sure ये question पूरा bouncer बनेगा. Guys, one small update. From Monday, we'll also be doing map pointing classes. But those classes will not be on YouTube, but it will be on my app. You can download the app, join the batch, and वहाँ पे we'll be doing map pointing. Map pointing of entire history, पूरा. Ancient seaports, ancient capitals, ancient industries, ancient trade routes, medieval seaports, medieval trade routes, पूरा. Civils Plus. The app name is Civils Plus. I'll share the link. It's okay. After class, on this Telegram channel, I will share the link, and you will get it. Yes, you can. It is an app. It'll be there on iOS, Android, web, सब कुछ. Marshi Badran Vyas Saman Award. Only two is correct. Marshi Badran Vyas Saman Award is actually conferred to persons for their substantial contribution In the field of Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, Pali, Prakrit, classical Odia, classical Kannada, classical Telugu, classical Malayalam, so multiple languages. It was actually introduced in 2002. Eligibility is generally given to people, young scholars in the age of group of 30 to 45. Carries a certificate of honor, a memento, and a one-time cash prize of 1 lakh rupees. Something very similar to the Sahitya Award, Sri Badran Vyas Samman. Badran was basically an Indian philosopher who almost had, we have, I mean, regarding whom we don't know much. He is regarded as having written the basic text of the Vedanta system, the Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra. He is considered the founder of the Vedanta philosophy. The date of Badrayana in his Brahma Sutra is basically uncertain, but scholars vary. They go all the way from 500 BC to 450 BC. Brahma Sutras are philosophical books or philosophical summaries about spiritual ideas from Upanishads. It is one of the foundational texts of the Vedanta school of Hinduism or Hindu philosophy. Brahma Sutras consisted of 555 sutras, aphoristic verses in 4 chapters. These are primarily about the nature of human existence and universe. The first chapter discusses metaphysics of absolute reality. Second chapter reviews and addresses the objections raised by the ideas of complex orthodox schools of Hinduism. Third chapter describes about epistemology and path of gaining spiritual knowledge. And last chapter talks about why knowledge is an important, you know, source for humanity, or why knowledge is important. Brahma Sutras. Now, um, quick question. Shantishwaru Bhatnagar prize is primarily given to which of the following categories, guys? Shanti Swaroop Bhatnagar prize. C. Science and Technology. Shanti Swaroop Bhatnagar prize. President Ram, I mean, तब में the last time I think it was given in 2019 रामनाथ कोविंद के period में I haven't after COVID नहीं दिया गया अभी. Latest is that only. It's named after the founder director of CSIR, Shanti Swaroop Bhatnagar. It is also known as Shanti Swaroop Bhatnagar Prize for Science and Technology. Outstanding contributions on science and technology इसके लिए दिया जाता है. Biological sciences, chemical sciences, earth, atmosphere, ocean and planetary sciences, engineering sciences, mathematical sciences, medical sciences, physical sciences, इन सभी में दिया जाता है. Value of each is about 5 lakh rupees are awarded annually for notable and outstanding research, applied or fundamental contributions. Okay, last question for the day. Sorry, by the way, Shantishwara Bhatnagar is available to people even of OCI and PIO up to the age of 45. They need to be specialized in one of the identified areas. One of the identified areas. Consider the following regarding Asiatic Society of Bengal. It was established in 1826 as the Mumbai arm of the London-based Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and England. And Sir Alexander Cunningham is the founder of the society. Which of the following statements these are correct? Asiatic Society of Bengal. Sorry, Asiatic Society of Mumbai. Asiatic Society of Mumbai. Asiatic Society of Mumbai. Answer is D. None of the above. Asiatic Society of Mumbai was actually established as a Mumbai branch of Asiatic Society of Bengal. Recently, Vispi Balapuria was elected as the head of the institution, and this is for the first time a woman is heading Asiatic Society in 215 years of its existence. Asiatic Society Mumbai is a society including involved in conducting historical research, award-winning historians, and running an institute of postgraduate studies. Its library, home to over 1 lakh books, consists of rare manuscripts, and it also gives junior fellowships for research and recommends scholars for the Tagore National Fellowship of Ministry of Culture. Governor of Maharashtra is actually the chief patron of this society, the Governor of Maharashtra, and it remains one of the most important organizations. It originally began as a literary journal in 1804, and Sir James Mackintosh, a Scottish colonial administrator, who had very keen interest in Oriental studies, is considered to have been the guy who started the Bombay branch of the Royal Asiatic Society. In 1954, the institute was severed from its London parent and came to be known as Asiatic Society of Bombay. From 2002, it is currently known as Asiatic Society, Bombay. Okay. So, having said that, guys, let us end this session here for today. Let us meet tomorrow in the morning, and tomorrow morning we will discuss about some more MCQs. We will discuss some more current affairs of the week, and from next week, let us begin also along with guys. YouTube classes will continue. App classes are different. YouTube is MCQ. App will begin to have, eventually, we will begin to have full length history IR courses on the app. फुल लेंथ कोर्सेस एकेडमिक कोर एकेडमिक ये तो एमसीक्यूज है वो तो कोर एकेडमिक होंगे ओके थैंक यू गाइस यू हैव अ नाइस डे आई विल सी यू टुमारो इन द मॉर्निंग बाय